It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. Good Lord, will get wrecked on the weekly. One do a 10x, the other lost liquidity. Oh, where my MetaMask go? Stole my keys, where my portfolio go? They took my tether, they took my DAAS, they took my Bitcoin, I'm about to cry. They took my Ethereum, they took my drip, they took my time wonderland, I'm about to quit.
I can't take this anymore, man.
It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules.
Okay. I need the price to go up. I can't take this anymore. Every day I'm checking the price and it's dipping. Every day I check the price, bad price. I can't take this anymore, man. I have overinvested by a lot.
It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. It went to zero. It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules.
What's a rug pull?
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I am the team lead, and this is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We missed you on Monday because I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate around the world. And we have a bunch of updates today. We're going to have an amazing 2024, and we're going to go through a lot of things that are proof of what's happening. But also, before we get started, I want to welcome my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
Hell yeah, to a powerful 2024. Let's go.
Yes, no doubt, LA. This will be a good little recap AMA as we head into the end of the year. Again, today, Thursday, will be this AMA, and then next week we have one AMA on Thursday again because of the new year on Monday. So, but yeah, really exciting stuff. I'm going to try to get through it. A little bit of a holiday cold, so hopefully my voice will hold up. But and shout out to the Cool Sheet for the intro. We hope there are no rug pulls in 2024. We know there won't be a rug pull in Spark or EMP or any of our protocols, but that's just some good vibes for the overall crypto gods out there. So please make sure you follow Cool Sheet. He does a lot of killer videos for us. So and other videos as well. But all right, well, without further ado, we're gonna jump right in. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps our numbers. Our YouTube channel has grown tremendously over this past year, and we hope to even continue to grow that into 2024. Again, all of the ad revenue also helps support our ecosystems, so it's a really easy way for you all to support your invest in your investment without even contributing anything monetarily. It just helps us get the word out. And if we can get to 5,000-10,000 subs within the next bull run, I mean that's a lot more eyeballs on EMP, on Spark, and ultimately L1 Dex and everything else that we build. So really exciting stuff. All right, we're gonna jump right in. Some info. We'll start with Sparkswap. We're working on some major updates behind the scenes. We're hoping to have it ready for today, but it is a little bit of a delay. We just want to do some extra testing. But we have two major announcements coming with Sparkswap over the next few days. One is an addition to the bridge, and another is a new farm. So keep an eye out for those. I'm not going to give too much alpha on what the addition is. If you guys have been paying attention you probably know, and the new farm is a secret as well. But also, again, it's just a way for us to kind of complete the ecosystem as we go into 2024, and hopefully those will be out before 2024. So the next few days, keep an eye out. Some other bullish updates again with Spark. We've burned a ton of Spark, so we announced a partnership with another token on Pulse called ERSP, or Eternal Reflect token. And it actually, part of the mechanism of the token, buys and burns Spark, as well as Glass, which is another partner token that we'll have some more bullish updates on as well. But definitely go check them out. Again, it's ERSP. You can find the exact token address in our socials. Don't get scammed. But by buying this token, you hold on to it and receive Spark in your wallet passively. There is a pretty high tax in and out, but that is how the reflex happened. So definitely check him out. The dev is a great guy. We've been in close communication, and he's building a lot more utility and use case. But I think LA, we've already burned almost 4,000 Spark from that, right?
Yeah, he dropped into our group yesterday and announced they burned 3,430 Spark so far as of yesterday. So that's pretty impressive. Um, and overall, that I'm not sure if the homepage has been updated since then or not, but we've burned well over 10,000 Spark so far. So that's exciting stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. Agreed. 100% LA. I think that is uh, the real-time number. I know I see it go up every about 100 spark every few hours. So it is burning in real time. And yeah, to get over 10,000 spark burned already in just the few short months that we have been operating, and that's with really just, community-based burns. Once we kind of transition into burning some spark with our fees or, getting into the deflationary model eventually, that could be massive. So, uh, again, shout out to all of you for continuing to support the protocol. All right, we have another really bullish update. And I don't have the video, but you can go on our socials or Telegram to watch. But Richard Hart, the man himself, did a recent video for the holidays for Christmas, with a lot of updates to the Pulse ecosystem, including an initiative to try to bring some more clarity to crypto regulation, which I think is really bullish, and potentially even bringing a personal liability to Gary Gensler and a lot of the higher ups in the SEC for what in my opinion is market manipulation. So that was really bullish. But what is even more bullish is he pretty much mentioned Sparkswap in the video without saying the name. He mentioned a bridge to BSC. He did say there's not a lot of volume yet, which is true, and that he would like to see some audits. But we're working on all that. I mean, we have an audit for the base farms, but I think he was mentioning the bridge specifically. So we are in the process of getting some major audits on the bridge. Obviously, we have the reputation, and Richard doesn't know us personally, but we have the reputation of being rock solid, and now it's just up to us to spread the word. So, LA, it was a bit of a Christmas miracle. It was pretty amazing, huh? What did you think?
Yeah, no, that was pretty killer. And you know, he says, uh, the I think there's a bridge to BSC. From BSC, they don't do any volume, but he has no idea what's ahead or what we're made of. So
For
just
sure.
watch you're gonna be naming us by name very shortly because we're the goats.
I love it. Yeah, no doubt, LA. And again, he expanded on that, and I completely understand. Richard obviously doesn't want to be promoting rug pulls or
For,
projects that he doesn't know, right, LA? So yeah, but
yeah, I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
I'm being cheeky, but
no, totally.
for sure.
Yeah,
And no, I mean that's wise, especially with what he's got going on right now. He has to be very careful about what he says, and especially what he promotes, but I think it will be very clear to both him and everyone on Pulse Chain very soon, if not already, that we're the real deal. We're not going anywhere. We're going to continue growing and building and only getting bigger and bigger. And word is really starting to spread around social media and just crypto circles about Sparkswap. So
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree. I mean, we're poised so incredibly well. You know, we had a big announcement last week that we took over the number 2 exchange in terms of volume on Pulse altogether. So, like Ellie said, there's no way that Richard and a lot of the big time Pulse influencers can't ignore us, and we know now that we're not being ignored, that people know who we are. You know, they're still a bit hesitant, which again is completely understandable. But if we continue to build and deliver, and again, we'll be sending out the audits um, and doing even more audits to make sure it's all third party verifiable. I mean, that is massive. And, you know, when he finally does mention us by name and get behind us, I mean, again, even more reason why we're saying 2024 is extremely bullish. And we're just getting started. So, yeah, and on that,
and
yeah, good, Ellie.
sorry, just a
Yeah,
hint at something that's coming. There's something very specific that he's said in his videos is needed on Pulse Chain that we're very close to providing. So I'm very sure that that in itself is also going to spark his interest as well. Pun
yes, pun
in.
intended. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, Ella. Yeah, so again, you guys probably can put two and two together on the new updates to the bridge. But like Ella said, and that's I think what's even more, reminiscent of why he was actually referring to Spark is that it's about onboarding, and a lot of his conversation was about onboarding. And again, yes, the whales and the big money is on ETH. But there is a completely untapped market on BSC that had no way of getting over before we made the bridge. And again, our goal at Spark uh, is to further adoption of Pulse Chain. And, again, I don't want to put words in Richard's mouth, but I think he does understand that. And any project that is focused on trying to build adoption and volume for Spark, I mean, for PLS as a whole, and further Pulse Chain, that is what speaks volumes to what we're doing. And yeah, I mean, obviously there is something in it for us. We get part of the bridge fees and support Spark, but at the end of the day, our ethos is making Pulse Chain a success, and anything that we can do to help with that, we're gonna do. And we're actually providing real DeFi, not Ponzonomics along the way, and product market fit, where, yes, there are a few other bridging options, but they're not a legitimate bridge. They're a pseudo bridge where you send to, a random wallet address, and the fees are astronomical. I mean, you're paying, in some cases, up to 10% when you factor in slippage and, the gas fees. So with us, you're paying a 0.5%. And even that, I mean, with the bridge fees to BSC and Arbitrum are really, really minimal. And so we're excited. And that's just one of the many reasons I think 2024 is going to be massive for everybody. And Ellie alluded to this as well. Ellie, I'll let you go take it from here. Our social media has been blowing up. We have a lot of AMAs lined up as well. You want to go into that?
Yeah, we have a couple coming up next week that we're really excited about. One of them in particular, we've been working on organizing for quite some time. It's been highly requested in the community, and it's finally coming to fruition. And one of them is another one we're very excited about that have been giving us a lot of love on their recent videos and stuff. So we're very excited about both. They're going to be really, really great conversations. We're big fans of both channels, both teams. So it's going to be great. Yeah. I think they'll be providing really great exposure for Sparkswap, and they'll just be really intelligent, great conversations for both of them.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% LA. And, you and I, especially you, have been working on securing these for a while now. We had some preliminary meetings again, along that line of, the legitimate influencers, they don't want to promote shit projects. So there is a due diligence that has to be done. And we've had some private discussions and really gotten to know, these people, and, they love what they see. And we're as genuine, as transparent, behind the scenes as we are on these AMAs. So that's super exciting for what we have, right? Yeah, good.
Yeah, and I love when they're like that at the beginning because that shows that they truly care about what they're doing and they only want quality conversations and quality projects and people on their channel. And those are always the people that we have really great long-term relationships with. It always ends up that way. So I'm happy that they're like that. When I see someone like that with high integrity, I always get excited, even if it takes longer to initially organize an AMA.
Yeah, I could not agree more, for sure. And that's what it's all about. It's about building the long-term relationships. We're not going anywhere. Again, back to the topic of today, 2024 is going to be a success of epic proportions. So all of these little tiny, wins add up to us becoming a major player. I mean, we already are. I mean, let's be honest. And, a matter of what, 3 months? We've taken the number 2 spot on Pulse Chain in terms of a DEX. I mean, I think that's pretty bullish, and like we said all along, we're just getting started. So, awesome stuff. And yeah, again, the 2 updates we're not really ready to go into yet. But I did want to address one thing, and that was a comment I saw in Telegram. I think it's a great talking point. And I'm going to preface here, but the overall question was pretty much about, with EMP being below peg and, that ecosystem not really succeeding, which I'll talk about in a second, what makes everybody think Spark will succeed, as well, or in my mind as well. And so, again, EMP, which we're going to go into next. I mean, we've learned a ton from EMP, and we've been very transparent about this the entire time. But by no means is EMP a failure, even to this day. I mean, the farms are still paying every single day and have been for, 2 years now. And yes, we're below peg. Yes, we're down, but not that is like, not again in LA. I know I don't want to steal LA's thunder. We're eventually going to do an article about this, but there are no other DeFi protocols that launched when we did, other than Dex Finance, which again is now under our umbrella as a partner, and even more than a partner, really. There's no other DeFi protocols that have lasted that long. So I really don't think classifying EMP as a failure, even though we are and have moved away from the seigniorage model. We learn from our pitfalls, and I think that's what makes the team special. Again, I'm not one to kind of toot our own horn. I think, in 2024, maybe that's part of the New Year's resolution, is to get better about that. But yeah, I mean, I think that we've done an incredible job learning from our mistakes. We've applied that, and EMP Fusion will be a full system recovery, and it's already started. I mean, ESHARE is up, EMP is up, ETH has been pumping. Um, so again, I think it's how you frame the question, not what the question is. And to say that EMP was a failure, I think is complete, ludicrousy. And we apply all of that to Spark. So again, we have a solution to get away from the inflation on Spark from day one. And that really wasn't part of the roadmap of the original EMP protocol, where we didn't really have a game plan how to get away from the inflation when we started. We're building Sparkswap literally with a 5-10 year roadmap in mind, learning everything that we learned from EMP and other inflationary type ecosystems to really focus on real yield. We have, an incredible dev team. I mean, we built EMP with like one person. Again, our lead dev, Jake. I mean, he built it from the ground up and all the ancillary contracts that go with it. Now we have a dev team of 30 people. So again, that is another major reason why Spark will succeed. Um, we've grown tremendously over the last 2 years in knowledge and ability and game theory and economics, and all that will be applied to 2024. So, Elliot, you want to add to that? Again, I didn't
I
want to kind of
do.
get on my
I
my high horse. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Something just popped into my head when you were talking that's like literally just blowing my mind.
I love it.
And it's the simplest thing, but it's also the most mind-blowing thing when it like clicks in. Okay? Both on Pulse Chain and BSC separately, but also collectively, we're literally, if you think about it, we're literally paving the way and proving what's possible in DeFi on both of those chains. Now, let me explain what I mean. On BSC, we are by far, aside from Dex Finance, which you've just said, we're now like partners, more than partners. We're so intertwined with them now in every way. But let's just put that to the side for a second. We are literally the longest running DeFi project by a mile, like by miles and miles and miles on BSC. We are the most successfully long running DeFi project along with Dex Finance on BSC. Um, we literally, like, more than a year ago now, I know that every week feels like a year in DeFi, but more than a year ago, watched almost all the other DeFi projects crumble around us, or we watched devs literally put their projects on hold for like 6 months and leave their communities just waiting while they like disappear and barely give any updates and leave everyone hanging with like thousands of dollars invested, not knowing what's going on, and then kind of leave them hanging on by a thread. Like, we haven't done any of that. We have literally been providing income to everyone, passive income, steadily for 2 full years, which literally hasn't been done on BSC before, at least to my knowledge. Now, switch over to Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain is brand new, but we have outlasted every other project by far. Um, Most projects have like a 2 to 4 week lifespan on Pulse Chain, and what is it? August, September, October, November. We're now 4 months in, which means that we have lasted like what I'm horrible at math. How many times more in length is that than the average
Yeah, like
project?
5 times. Yeah, we
Yeah.
always get in trouble for doing math live on the show, but yeah.
I should never do math on the fly. Okay, so but we've lasted 5 times longer than the average project on Pulse Chain already, and we're like just getting warmed up. Like, we've barely finished the warm up. We're still stretching, like, getting like pulling up our socks in the dugout, ready to start the game. Like, we've still got years and years of stuff ready to implement in front of us. So what I'm saying is, we've quite literally set the bar on both chains, shown what's possible, and we're the front runners. Like, all that just clicked in for me, like that we are showing what's possible in longevity, in innovation. And if you look at EMP, there's literally never been a month or two that has passed by where we haven't implemented something to grow and expand the protocol. There's never been a month that has passed by where we haven't organized AMAs to promote the project, at least like one or two, if not like an entire AMA train. Um, there's never a month that goes by where we're not actively doing something to grow, promote, or both. And that's a big part of why Sparkswap, why EMP will succeed. The genuine hunger and obsession with innovation and growth. That is another reason why EMP and Sparkswap will succeed. We literally have an inability to sit still. It's like we have ants in our pants. You should see the developer chat. Like, I was visiting my mom and wasn't really looking at my phone very much for a few days. And like, it is quite easy to miss like 200 or 300 messages over like a holiday because there's so many ideas and things being worked on and thrown around and, things being implemented. Like, there's an inability to stop implementing, to stop coming up with ideas and things that we want to roll out and just expanding and growing and innovating. It's just who we are as a team. And you guys as a community are the ones that inspire that. And that's never going to slow down because that's just, if you're that type of person, that's just who you are. That's what you crave. That's what you obsess over. And it oozes out in all that you do. And every member of the team is like that. So those are just some of the reasons why both projects and anything we touch is bound to succeed.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. That was fire. And yeah, I mean, I do see a few other projects mentioned in the chat. Obviously, so most of those projects I'm in as well. And, I think the point is that LA is getting at the building. I mean, we have never had an exploit. We are innovating as we go. And that's not, to talk shit about other projects at all. We're firm believers that the rising tide rises all ships. And yeah, but I can agree, and again, even in all the projects I am involved in, our communication, our transparency, and our dedication to building is unparalleled by a mile. I mean, that is just pure facts. So, and yeah, I mean, again, I think there's room for everybody, and the more that we can continue to further DeFi with real yield and implement mechanisms that get away from the Ponzonomics that everybody thinks DeFi is. That is what again is real headway moving forward to better the space. So yeah, and again, much love to those other projects as well. But there's very few of us left. Again, we can count on one hand. Like I said, I saw two other projects mentioned out of probably what 10,000 that launched over the last 2 years. So yeah,
For sure.
yeah, really
And
exciting.
any of that is not at all to throw shade at anyone else or to forget about anyone else. It's just a point. It's just to prove a point.
Totally. And it's right. I mean, it is facts. I mean, we try not to overhype. We try not to, get too high on our own supply. But at the end of the year, again, this whole stream is about why 2024 is so bullish. And all of those points are absolutely valid and as factual as we can be. And yeah, all that applies. And one more point I wanted to make too, you know, why Sparkswap is also going to be a success is that we have picked a overall business model that is literally one of the most profitable business models in all of crypto, and that is a DEX. I mean, other than launching your own layer one, a DEX, a bridge, and an NFT marketplace are the three top business models in crypto in terms of real yield. And guess what? We have a box checked for every one of those. The Sparkswap Bridge, the Sparkswap DEX, and EMP Fusion will be an NFT marketplace, again, along with our own battery NFTs and microgrids. So we're set up, again, so perfectly for the future. And all of this is under the impression and hope that we have a massive bull run in 2024 as well. And we literally could see the entire crypto space 10x from right now. So just imagine what your portfolio looks like right now and times it by 10. And that is a real possibility around this time next year. again after the halving and all the other updates coming. So with the ETF and market sentiment. So all right, LA, anything you want to add about Sparkswap before we move on to EMP?
There was one thing, but I forget what it is now.
All right, if you remember, just interrupt me. No worries. So, all right, and
Okay.
then yeah, we'll just go on to EMP again. This is a little short and sweet. But obviously the big catalyst in 2024 for EMP is Fusion. We are making headway. Again, the developers still have to have a life as well. As much as we want, Jake and everybody, behind the computer 24/7. They also have to live their lives. So unfortunately, we aren't going to have a launch date by the end of the year, announced at least, but we're getting extremely close. And we're making real headway. We are almost there again. All of the puzzle pieces are coming together, and we've seen that already start to take shape with eShare and EMP. Both have been steadily rising, and again, the ecosystem is looking very healthy and primed for 2024. So, early 2024, getting the MVP out, having plenty of time to market it, and get people excited again. And then we're off to the races again with EMP because we outlined this in a previous AMA. Make sure that you go back. I think it wasn't the last AMA, but the AMA before that. We did a full segment on how we're able to recover peg and how it's not if, it's when. And so all of those mechanisms play into you know uh, why EMP fusion is so bullish and why there will be an entire system recovery. And all of you that have held this long time, or even DCA'd in at lower prices, you are the ones that reap the immediate benefit. And then we build a much more sustainable and healthy ecosystem at EMP. Again, even learning from what we learned with Sparkler. We say this a lot, but EMP Fusion is essentially Sparkler on steroids. So a lot of the same mechanisms, um, again, that we took from the original concept was actually Fusion. We applied some of that to Sparkler, and again, Sparkler is the proof of concept that we know Fusion will be massive in terms of rewarding people with real yield. So all that is again, part of managing expectations. We try not to make promises. Again, we still get so much shit about being delayed, but we've never announced a date. And again, I know that is not a it's unfortunately a common occurrence in other protocols where there is a date announced and that date is never hit. So we would never want to announce a date and then not be able to meet it. And that's one of the reasons why this is a perceived delay, so to speak. But I can promise you, once we announce a date, that will be the date, and we will continue to make progress on Fusion all the way up to the minute that we are able to finally announce. So, again, LA, you want to go add to that? Add to that?
Ooh,
Excuse me. Yeah.
yeah, I remembered what I wanted to talk about. I was thinking about something the other day when I was looking at the farms on EMP, and a thought came across my head, and it was this. Even though eShare has been on the rise and we're seeing it steadily go up week by week, it's still obviously a lot lower than what it once was. And so I know that some people are still, looking at the farms thinking that they're not earning that much. But that's actually not the case if you think about it with the right frame of mind. So, if you think about it from the right frame of mind, and you look at, sorry, my dog's whining, but you look at the amount of eShare that you're earning and not the dollar amount, you're going to be a lot happier camper. So if you go into the farms on EMP and you're simply looking at the dollar amount because you want to sell the eShare you're earning to pay bills, then you're probably not going to be the happiest camper right now. But if you are someone who is all in on EMP and you're doing whatever you can to get ready for fusion, and you've got all of your EMP ETH and your eShare in the farms, and you're like, I'm going to earn as much eShare as possible to prepare for fusion, and I'm going to leave all my stuff in the farms until the sacrifice starts, and I'm going to just do whatever I can to prepare, you're earning eShare every day. And what's going to happen is, as we get closer and closer to the sacrifice, the value of that eShare is very likely to go up. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball, but we've already seen it start to happen. It's at $41 right now. Peg is looking really nice. That's gone up as well, which is a really nice Christmas surprise. Everything's looking really healthy. It's steadily going up as we get closer and closer. And so if you focus on accumulating as much eShare as possible and just ignore the dollar amount right now, that dollar amount is very likely to go up. And then when we get closer to the sacrifice, you can decide what you want to do, whether you want to um, change that eShare into some EMP to sacrifice into your central grid and get that peg bonus, whether you want to sacrifice that eShare directly into some power packs, whether you want to hold on to some of it to potentially sell later down the line when the price is up a little bit more. You've got options. But right now, if the mindset is on accumulating as much as possible, and you just ignore that dollar amount and it's just focused on accumulation, that mindset is going to take you into a much more locked and loaded, positive, ready place. And that's what's going to get you really amped up and excited for what's coming, and not focused on where we're at right now, which isn't really all that important because it's not where we're going to stay.
Totally. That's a great point, LA. And you brought up two incredibly important factors that I want to expand on. So number one is this idea of separating the token from the dollar value. And what I mean by that, and this is some OG crypto wisdom for all of you. Again, my 10 years in crypto, I wish I would have learned this sooner because it is a very fundamental thing. And that is accumulation. And again, LA did an amazing job explaining this. But when you're able to separate the dollar value from a token and just focus on accumulating that token, that will do incredible things for you in the long term. And unfortunately, 99% of people don't have this ability. I mean, everybody is so short-term mindset thinking that they don't think of the big picture. And we talked about this a lot early on in EMP, with Detonator and getting a larger portion of the pool share, where dollar value really doesn't matter. It's about how much LP you're able to accumulate, and it still holds true today. And if I'm bullish on a project, whether it's EMP or any other Spark or any other ecosystem, my goal is to accumulate 1% of the overall supply. And if you can do that, again, regardless of the price, being able to DCA in, and again, I know a lot of people may not have the funds to do that. So maybe your goal is, 0.1% or 0.001% of the supply. If you can actually own a majority or a large portion of an overall token supply, that absolutely sets you up for success and a moon mission when the asset does recover. And that leads into my second point with EMP itself. We did a stream a week or two ago where the peg bonus of buying at that particular stream was a 10x. Well, over the last few weeks, that bonus has already dramatically gone down. Right now you're only at about a 6x or a 7x. So again, the idea is that you're accumulating at these low prices, and there is no more EMP being produced. So if you're able to buy up the EMP and have this share of the protocol, again, that's the same concept with Fusion, is that there's only so much ownership available. And so if you're able to hoard, your portion of the pie, Ella did a great job with the analogy of a pizza. A pizza can only be cut, in so many slices. And so if you have, half the pizza, you're getting half the rewards of real yield. And all of that is applied into Fusion. And that's why I'm so, so bullish for 2024 because that EMP is going to be locked up. And again, yeah, you can sell your microgrid, but that never registers as selling pressure on EMP anymore. So, all of those things are just incredibly powerful as we move forward. So, yeah, LA, anything again you want to expand on with that?
No, I think I said it all, but
For sure.
I know my number one focus right now is just accumulating as much as humanly possible as we get closer and closer, just a little bit more each week, and just getting ready. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and again, we're shaping up. I know some other ancillary updates as we wrap it up here, but and we can do Q&A. LA, I don't know if we have questions today, but some other updates. We are working on some new videos behind the scenes as well. Um, both inside and outside our community. We have some killer educational content being put together. Some of it is paid, some of it is free. We'll have updates on all that. But again, the idea is that we're educating people in getting involved in EMP Fusion and Sparkswap as well. So that's super bullish for us in terms of onboarding for 2024. We've also had some more connection with Spritz and integrating the on and off ramp features as well. So there's just so many things. And again, forgive me because I don't, we don't mention everything on every AMA that we do. Maybe we should, but then we'd have 4-hour AMAs. But again, there's just so many irons in the fire behind the scenes that even if half of those things come to life in 2024, we're set up for an incredible run for sure. And last but not least, L1 Dex. I know, that is the third spoke of the wheel. We still don't really have a lot of updates for that, so we're not going to really spend any much time. But everybody should have been able to, claim their tokens by now. Make sure that, you are either staking or choosing not to. I know a lot of you have been wanting to hold off for to have some liquid L1X for our balancer pools. We can't really give you financial advice, but I think a mixture of both would be a viable option. And I'll leave that up to the community to discuss some different strategies. But we've seen a lot of good talks on what other people are doing with their L1X. So as soon as we have more updates, we can let you know. Obviously, they as well have had some breaks over the holidays in terms of development. So, but their goal is still end of January. So we'll keep you in the loop. But all right, Ella, any questions?
Yeah, we have a few. I am going to get you to do a very brief version of this because this question just keeps coming up, no matter how many times we seem to cover it on AMAs. But we're gonna have to clip your answer from tonight.
Okay, perfect.
But if you can go over one more time about the detonator and why fusion is going to reinvigorate detonator and inspire people to start investing in it again, and how fusion will help detonator succeed.
For sure. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. I'll try to cover all of them, but if there's something else I forget, please feel free to chime in at the end, LA. But we have an absolute plan for Fusion to revitalize all of the DAAS contracts. So we'll talk about Detonator specifically, um, but this applies to all the DAAS contracts, and especially Reactor right now. With eShare pumping, you've actually seen this happen in real time already before we've even done any additions or upgrades. because the higher the price of EMP and the higher the price of eShare, the more rewards in terms of dollar value you get. So the whole goal is to eliminate selling pressure and make it attractive for people to enter DAAS contracts again. And so we're doing that in two ways. So the first way is all of our ancillary contracts, whether it be nodes or DAAS products or um, any of the additional contracts, they will no longer be able to be claimed and sold directly. Instead, they are applied to your microgrid or to the central grid, which gives you your microgrid allocation. So, for instance, if you were, claiming $10 a day from Detonator in EMP ETH LP, you're no longer able to just claim that, break the LP, and then sell the EMP. Instead, you'll be getting credit in terms of dollar value for that claim applied to your microgrid. And so, even if you are a selfish person that doesn't believe in EMP anymore, we're not handcuffing you. You can then sell your microgrid on the open market for somebody to buy and realize your profit that way, um, which is everybody's prerogative to do. And doing it that way, it eliminates the selling pressure on EMP LP, which again which is hindering the growth of those contracts now. On top of that, we're adding a V3 upgrade where you will be penalized in a progressive fashion the more that you claim. So again, tentative numbers are as follows. If you claim once or twice a week, then you have no penalty. But once you claim the third time, the third day, you get say a 25% penalty. If you claim a fourth time, you get a 50% penalty. If you claim a fifth time, you get a 75% penalty. And anybody claiming 6 or 7 times a week is a 100% penalty. So you're disincentivizing those serial claimers that drain the contract, and all of these mechanisms will make detonator and DAAS contracts very attractive again. And there is an edge case where it's actually more profitable to use detonator or any of the DAAS contracts to build your microgrid ownership rather than just buying EMP directly. So you can leverage these contracts to get ahead, so to speak, of your ownership. And now that may be true, that may not be true. We don't know until the ecosystem is up and running. But all the mechanisms are in place to be successful. Even without the upgrades, Detonator was the talk of the town for 6 months in all of DeFi. So the fundamentals have never changed for Detonator and DAOS contracts, and we hope that we are able to again make some key alterations that make those contracts even more powerful. So, Ellie, I'm starting to lose my voice, so I don't know if you want to add to that. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll add. And I'm gonna do my little disclaimers, just because I know that you guys hold us to word for word exactly what we say on these AMAs. So just a disclaimer, the percentages and the way that it was listed, those were just examples. Those are not the actual specific percentages and the exact way that it's going to work. Those were just examples of how it could work. So when we release the actual white paper and paperwork on that, you'll know the exact specifics on how it's going to work. But those were examples of
For
more
sure.
or less the way that it could work. So don't hold us to those exact numbers and then say that you said this on an AMA 6 weeks and 3 days ago. So why is it different?
Yeah.
um,
No, exactly. Totally.
but yeah, I just wanted to add this. I think you all forget one very key thing. there's a reason why the Detonator and DAAS contracts started going down in pool balance, and there's also a reason why they were absolutely freaking booming for a very long time. And it's simply comes down to one word: sentiment. When our ecosystem is absolutely booming again, when EMP ETH LP price is way up again, and when we're back at peg and everyone's, when our chats are blowing up with thousands of messages a day, and everyone and their brother is back out of the woodwork who hasn't been around for a year but all of a sudden has heard that EMP is the talk of the town again, and everyone's back, you bet your ass they're going to be competing for that largest depositor prize again. You bet your ass they're going to be trying to win the lottery again. All the incentivization that has been there all along is still there. The reason that people haven't been going after it as much is because more people have been claiming than compounding, because they haven't been as bullish on the ecosystem as a whole. Because when the bear market got very bearish, people were just hesitant as a whole on crypto and DeFi, and just started claiming and claiming and claiming and claiming. And that wasn't necessarily a reflection on Detonator or EMP as a whole. It's just people were having a bearish sentiment, and it affected Detonator. And the more that people claimed, the more it inspired other people to claim. Well, guess what, baby? The reverse works out the exact same way. The more that people deposit, the more it inspires other people to deposit. The more people are competing for a largest depositor, the more it inspires other people to want to compete and have fun with that gamification and all that fun stuff that once was. It all still applies, and it very, very likely will happen again when the ecosystem is booming again. We very likely will see the pool balance rising again, just because all of those incentivization mechanisms are still there. We're going to be adding some additional guardrails to protect those contracts even more, so that when people are bullish on it again and are depositing again, the same thing doesn't happen during the next bear cycle.
I love it. Let's go. Perfect explanation, LA. And yeah, I mean, everything LA just said on top of a bull cycle. So you have to remember that when we launched DAAS contracts, the market was 2 to 3x what it is right now. And so obviously when the price of ETH and EMP come down, over the last year or 2 year and a half, that is also a very detrimental part of, again, like LA said, the sentiment, the dollar value, the pool balance, everything going down. Nobody wants to get into something that's going down. Everybody wants to get into something that's going up. And those that are going to win are the ones that have, again, taken their emotion out of it. And I know a lot of you've been accumulating your pool share like over the last 6 months when everybody was bearish on Detonator. So again, all the rules to the game are there. Nothing is changing, fundamentally. We're not handcuffing you. We're not saying, oh well, Detonator was a failure and everybody, that was in is, too bad, so sad. That's not the team that we are. We do everything in our power, everything that is humanly possible, to resurrect and again move forward. And did we get it right the first time? Mostly, yeah. It wasn't perfect, but now we can make it perfect. And that again is part of our philosophy, is that we never give up and we implement what we have to make things right, the best that we can. And also that being said, we all of these things that we just said about Detonator being a game, Detonator being cyclical, the pool balance could go down. All of that was said literally on day one, before we ever even launched Detonator. So, everybody still has some personal responsibility in those contracts, and we never did anything misleading. And again, I think that we're super excited for 2024 to resurrect those contracts. And it may even be a case, like I said earlier, where that the secondary contracts like nodes or detonator or any of the DAAS contracts actually allow you to build your microgrid faster than if you were just buying EMP outright. So that's really exciting for the game theory of the entire EMP fusion ecosystem for sure.
Yeah, especially if you're um, leaning into those gamification aspects of it and you're one of the first to get back into it right before everyone gets back into it,
For
and you
sure.
win a few of the largest depositor prizes or that kind of thing. That could be a way to really boost, your daily earnings in those. And there's a lot of different strategies that could be applied when it comes to fusion, and that's why this is going to be so fun. And I think that a lot of the strategies are going to be community led, and it's going to be a really exciting time for all of us.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's another really great point. We can wrap it up on this topic. I'm sure we have other questions. So, about being community led. So, another really cool part of Fusion as a whole and the gamification is we don't even know the right answer as a team and the ones that actually designed it. And that I think is even more exciting is that the ecosystem will truly become a fair to play system where there is no insider info, there is no secret strategy, and if there is that, then the community will be the ones to figure it out and to spread the word, on what's a better play than another, and that I think is so powerful, in terms of community building and DeFi when there is this social aspect. Again, I think a narrative in the future that we're going to be ahead of. We're always predicting the next trends, and that is social fi, where it's a DeFi with a social element, and Fusion plays into that, incredibly well, where everybody's kind of brainstorming and figuring out how to min-max their returns. So yeah, really, really exciting. And one last thing again on this topic, you will not be able to sacrifice your detonator positions on launch. So that is part of the plan moving forward. We don't know when, but the ultimate goal is that you don't want to sacrifice your detonator position because it's much more profitable to be in detonator. And I think that was another key thing that we keep seeing people talk about. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't see why we can't implement the ability to sacrifice your position into detonator again, minus your what you've already claimed out, and a variation of what you're owed in terms of maximum payout. But the whole idea is that that really isn't the goal from our perspective. The goal is to make it so attractive that nobody wants to sacrifice their position in detonator anyway. So yeah, again, LA, I'm sure you've seen that 100 times, but I don't know if you want to add to that. Yeah.
No, I'm good on that.
Okay. Awesome.
Awesome. So the next question is very simple. I'll let you answer this one. It is basically, so when you're sacrificing ESHARE and you want to sacrifice it to the central grid, the question just was simply how the math works out in regards to, will they still get the same peg bonus as if they were sacrificing EMP, or will it simply be, if you're sacrificing $100 worth of eShare, would that mean $100 divided by that moment's price of EMP, and that will give you your number of sacrifice points?
You can probably answer this, LA, if you want to. It's pretty simple. You want to? Or you want me
It's
to? Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead. Yeah.
it's simply you don't get the peg bonus. So if you want the peg bonus, you need to change your eShare for EMP first and sacrifice the EMP. It's literally just your eShare, and then depending on how much EMP is worth that day, you're dividing it by how much dollar value in eShare you're sacrificing. So if you're sacrificing $100 and EMP was worth 10 cents that day, you're dividing that $100 by the 10 cents, and that's the number of sacrifice points you're getting. I'm, of course, not a math wizard, so if I didn't say that properly, I'm sure one of you nitpickers will call me out for it. Thumbs up for you guys. But you guys get the point, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah,
hopefully.
no doubt. So yeah, again, I wanted to make it as simple as we possibly could, and yeah, the peg bonus only applies to EMP. Um, and all of this is in the white paper. Again, those that want to do the math themselves, the equation to calculate sacrifice points based on your asset is in the white paper. But I just did want to add too on that. Yeah, I mean, you could potentially sell your eShare to buy EMP and then get the guaranteed peg bonus of whatever that is at the time. Like LA said, it may be 4x, it may only be a 2x. But if you do that, um, you're selling your eShare, and eShare, again, not financial advice, but it could do a 10x in that same amount of time, with Fusion up and running. So there is that opportunity cost. I don't want people to think, it's a no-brainer to just sell your eShare for EMP, and vice versa. It's not really a no-brainer to sell EMP to buy more eShare. It's a matter of having both assets so that you are, equally exposed to the price appreciation of either or. And again, that's not financial advice. Everybody is free to do whatever they want. That's the beauty of DeFi. Nobody is pushing the buttons for you. But again, I just want to make sure you guys kind of keep that in mind when you're kind of strategizing of what to do. So
Perfect. Okay, we've got another one from OMC. Shout out to you. Rewards for Sparkler vary widely from day to day. Is this caused because there is no schedule for when DEX profits are applied? Will these DEX proceeds ever be applied on a daily or real-time basis?
yeah, so shout out to OMC, Oman Crypto. Yeah, a little bit of both. So right now we're still in build mode, and obviously a lot of the fees are going to Sparkler. But as you said, it's not on a consistent basis. So this is done in a few ways. So let me just be as transparent as I can be. Number one, when things are calculated in terms of real yield, so we can't automate that process. Meaning, one day there might be $100 of fees, and the next day there might be $300 of fees. And so we don't know when, what time, when that happens. That all is already calculated in real time. And it's about people that go in and out of the farm. So 100% of those fees go to Sparkler. So if there's a day where somebody withdraws a lot from one of the farms with that entry or with the exit fee, or vice versa, if they go into a farm with an entry fee, that could be a massive boost to Sparkler, in a moment, in a particular moment. Now, over time, again, as we are, all the arbitrage bots are full, because right now we are diverting some of the fees to deepen liquidity and to make sure all the arbitrage bots are working flawlessly and have enough liquidity to do what they need to do. So over the next few months and even weeks, all of that will become much more automated. And to answer your question, yeah, I mean, we'll never have a set schedule because we don't want that to be gamified or exploited, where a bot knows that we, inject all the revenue at 1 p.m. every day. So it will still be over time. But I can say that over time, there will only be more and more of the protocol fees feeding Sparkler. So it will still be random, but the idea is that we are able to automate this process. We transition a little more into revenue mode rather than build mode. And then once that happens, again, we could see Spark and Sparkler absolutely explode in terms of what you're earning. So and remember, it's a long game. I mean, those that are the 3650 squad, I mean, you're going to be earning over the next 10 years. So, it's about real yield and just accumulating for the life of the protocol. And again, I'm super excited for that. I don't think you guys have seen anything yet in terms of yield. We're doing about $300,000 of volume a day right now. Just imagine when we're doing $3 million a day in volume. So all of that will definitely be on the horizon. LA, you want to add to that? Yeah.
No, I think you hit it. So, now do you want to touch at all, just mentioning kind of time frames for Fusion?
Yeah, I mean, I know that we get in trouble for this, but I don't know. Maybe you should take that, LA. I don't want to say something that isn't right, but I mean,
I'll just
yeah,
read out, I'll
yeah,
just say what we wrote down for today.
perfect.
We won't be announcing a date this year. I mean, it's the 28th already, but we won't be announcing a date this year. But we are making steady progress and we want to manage expectations. That's why I'm saying this. Um, so that's why we're not making any direct promises at this moment, but we'll continue to update you guys with every bit of progress that we make. And we are making wicked progress on Fusion and development as a whole. So we'll get you guys information as soon as possible as we have it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mentioned that at the very end of the EMP segment, but it's worth going over again. You know, we never intentionally uh, tease or say something, and then with the result of manipulating the community. That is not what we do. We try to be as transparent as we are, as transparent as we can be, and unfortunately, that is the potential pitfall is that we're almost too transparent in the fact that if we have a delay, then people are upset and think that we, are trying to play games. So, but yeah, as LA said, I mean, we've said it a bunch of times as well. Once we have a date, we need at least 2 weeks a lead time for our marketing campaign as well. So, I don't want anybody to think they're gonna, it's gonna be, oh, the Fusion's launching tomorrow, and now you're not prepared. But I do want to say, take the time now to get prepared. And again, that's not financial advice, but you want to be packing your bags on the rumor, not the news. Again, the adage is buy the rumor, sell the news. In our case, it's buy the rumor and sacrifice the news, and that will set you up for an amazing 2024, 100%. So, all right, awesome stuff. Yeah, Ella, any other questions or updates or anecdotes as we wrap it up?
Well, I just want to say this year has been an absolute pleasure. Oh my goodness, to think back throughout the year, and how far we've come. Like, I can think back to where we were at this time last year, and we have come so incredibly far. And I'm so, 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 so proud of what we've accomplished together as a team, as a community, as a whole. Um, it's just been incredible. And this is just the tip of the iceberg based compared to what I know we're going to accomplish next year. um, I'm so, 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 so excited for what's to come. And I'm grateful that every single one of you are along the ride with us. It's going to be an incredible year ahead. I wouldn't change anything. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for being here with us. And let's fucking go.
I love it. One final, let's fucking go. At the end of the year wrap up, I could not agree with everything Ella said. It's been an absolute honor and privilege to be the team lead here at EMP. I never thought, I mean, I knew that we were gonna do big things, but we've absolutely even exceeded our own expectations in the time frame. I mean, especially with Sparkswap and getting into Fusion and L1 Dex. I thought that, this would be years in the making, not just a year in the making. And so that I think is really exciting and it shows how fast we do build and deliver. And if we can continue this pace, which we absolutely will, just imagine when we're doing again, our 10-year anniversary of our ecosystem. And hopefully by then we have our own EMP island and yacht,
Mm-hmm.
right, LA? Yeah, so for our
That
entire
sounds like the
community.
name of a show, a TV, like some type of reality show, EMP Island.
I love it. Yes. Well,
It's like it's like a combination of like the show Survivor and then like a bunch of like people on computers doing crypto stuff.
I
Like
love it.
I,
L-
I don't know.
let's pitch that. Put that on your vision board and let's get in touch with Netflix. I think we have a new winner as far as the concept. So, oh man,
One thing definitely manifesting for 2024 is a massive EMP meetup for all of our emperors and sparkies.
totally. Yeah, so
That's
that
gonna
yeah, no doubt. That's another great thing to end on. Uh, uh, some potential alpha. Yeah, we definitely have plans of an in-person meetup. I know a lot of you have been wanting to get together. We said that was part of our plans. Unfortunately, the bear market said otherwise, but I think 2024 will finally make that happen. And we may have some juicy alpha in quarter one about that. But
yeah.
yeah, or yeah, totally. Awesome. All right. Well, on that note, again, I'm going to try to wrap up without completely losing my voice. But we love and appreciate all of you. You know, I've said it once, but we'll say it again on behalf of me and the entire team. You know, we would not be here without all of you, and it's really the community that makes EMP and Spark and L1Dex special. And as long as we have this strong, unwavering community, we can accomplish anything. So please remember that, and we're all here to make some incredible gains together in 2024. So, all right, much love to all of you. We will be skipping Monday um, because of the new year, but we will be back next week, 1 week from today, Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share as you wrap it up. And yep, all right, that'll do it. All right, LA, we'll see you later too. You there? Yep.
Yep, yep,
All
yep.
right.
Do you want me to help with
All
your
right. I
sign off?
know. I'm dying here. I'm dying at the end. No, I'm all right. So I'll say my
Okay.
final words. Good night. Good day. We'll see you on Thursday. Happy 2024, everybody. A big year for all of us.